All right, good morning, guys. Back at it again on this lovely Friday with another MLB DFS video. To recap yesterday, I don't even think we want to talk about it. Do you?
No, I don't at all. It was bad. I mean, just to go over some highlights, Lance Lynn got absolutely rocked. We were between him and Gaussman. Even if we played Gaussman, the line wasn't getting there. Their stacks were just so bad. Over under 11 in the Colorado game. That total hits 0 to 1. I mean, you really can't make that shit up. And then, um, what else did I say? Oh, Detroit sucked. We had a little mini stack 2-3 with Baez and Riley Green. Absolutely nothing. Baez is like 1 for 15 to start the year, just absolute travesty. Um, what else? Yeah, pitching kind of sucked. If you went to the Colorado pitcher, you kind of got there, I guess. If you would paid up for like some big bats, but if you didn't have Gaussman, you weren't cashing.
Yeah. Um, when you only drop 28 total points on the whole slate, you're bound to have a crappy day. And this stuff happens, sadly. But
Yeah,
we could just
especially when
hope
you
for.
stack. When you stack, you're really hoping for the highest of highs, and then whenever it doesn't go your way, you're pretty much dead in the bottom. So
I just remember not checking Fanduel for a while, and I wasn't keeping track of the Colorado game. So then when I loaded up FanDuel, I was like, holy, this will, yeah. The only thing we can do is hope for a better day today. I think yesterday we were just kind of going back and forth, like, what the hell is going on? Like, what is this crap? And then kind of got over it. We were like, you know what, whatever. Ready to talk about today's slate? Somewhat a little bit better today.
yeah, I think there's some interesting spots for tournaments. We got cores again, which will be interesting to see where people land. It looks like Washington's going to gain at least double the popularity as Colorado. So maybe we go back to Colorado, just stack against the most popular stack, and then secondary stacks. Looks like the Dodgers look pretty good here. Uh, Braves are fine, and then if you want to do a game stack, I think the Angels and Toronto stack looks pretty good. So that's probably where I'll be looking. Need to look in some of the bats first.
Yeah, I like all of those going with Colorado again. So Mackenzie Gore is kind of a coming type of guy. I was telling you this earlier, but the thing too, though, is they're in Colorado, so he's not really used to that ballpark. At least to what I know, he's not used to that environment. So I think Colorado should be the top stack today. I do like Atlanta. I do like Toronto. Um, it just seems like Atlanta isn't getting enough love, but then again, they're not playing in Colorado, but that can be like a sneaky option. I want to check. Hold on. Mine is 1.9% leverage, decent stack score, implied team total of 5.2. Not too bad. You got Washington as 16% top stack, then the Dodgers 14.9, then Colorado. So I mean, after after that, there's a huge drop off. Then it goes to the Padres at 8.7. But get a little different. I would definitely go Atlanta. Um, so let's just say for Colorado, Atlanta, maybe Toronto, who are some bats you're thinking about getting to?
So on the Rocky side, probably Daza, Diaz, Chris Bryant, McMahon. The real power on the team. Maybe if Servant starts, he's got pretty good power. Um, Atlanta is interesting. I think you can really just pick your poison there. Everyone there's got some power behind the bat, really. So I think Matt Olson has been on a heater. So if you want to go back to Matt Olson, why not? And then Toronto, they don't project the best, but for some reason, I just have a feeling that they're going to drop, 7 or 8 here. And Sandoval is a great pitcher, I just think he might have some trouble against this lineup, and you can get some pretty good leverage on their stack. So I like Toronto as a whole.
And I just loaded up the ownership tool on Stochastic for the Rockies. So I have mix of Toronto, Atlanta, and Colorado. Jurickson Profar is projected out of these three teams to be the highest owned guy at 18.7, and then Acuna at 18. So, I mean, these are some pretty good. I think we played Montero yesterday, projected for 8. Daza, like you said, at 7 or 6, actually. Ozuna, 5. CJ Cron at like low 5. Holy crap.
Yeah,
There's
he's
a
really
lot of that to
expensive
go
today.
to.
He's like 4,400, which is like max price Cron, and he's like more expensive than Vladdy and Paul Goldschmidt, stuff like that. So that's why he's going to get little to no ownership. So he definitely
Interesting.
makes for an interesting bet.
A lot of these bets that I'm seeing, though, just based on ownership, you can definitely get to these guys and be a little different instead of running the chalky nationals.
Yeah, playing the chalky Nationals just doesn't feel right.
Oh, not at
Uh,
all.
and if they're going to be 20% as a stack as a whole, I might just pick a piece or two. Like yesterday, we picked Meneses and Lane Thomas, and those are probably their two most talented bats. I might go back to them. Ruiz has some good power too if he starts today, like in the 4 or 5 hole. So I might go there. Urania is just a god awful pitcher, so I understand the Washington ownership, uh, but I'm looking to get a little different. I think.
No, I get that. All right, we ready to talk about the pitchers?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so I'm just gonna read off like the top 4 on the pitchers tool. So it goes Woodruff, Clayton Kershaw, Zach Eflin, and I don't even know this athletics picture, if I'm being honest with you, Ken something. But I highly doubt anyone's going to be playing an Oakland pitcher projected
Ken
for 5%.
Waldichuk.
Is that who it is? Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
It just says Ken WA and it goes away. But all right, who are we targeting today? I got a couple in mind, but
So if Woodruff's going to be the highest owned, like 3 times the amount as Kershaw, I'm just going to play Kershaw. I think he's an easier spot against the team he just played against, and Woodruff is playing, St. Louis, who could strike out 10 times or light you up for 4 home runs. So I think I'll just, if Woodruff continues to have this ownership, I'll just play Kershaw at the same price. Um, if Woodruff's ownership comes down a little bit, maybe it's like 20%, maybe I'll just play Woodruff. It's got to be between one of those two, I think, and then Eflin makes for a salary saving pitcher.
yeah, I remember telling you earlier I liked Eflin just because based on his salary, but then you brought up the point that he hasn't gotten to 6. He was kind of a rotation piece. Now he's starting. Um, the thing that just intrigues me about that is he's playing Oakland. So I would say like Clayton Kershaw, like if anyone's making their own lineups, Clayton Kershaw is priority. And then I would say number 2, Eflin, just because based on the matchup and the salary. And then if you're playing Eflin, you can get some better bats. And the pitcher's tool says that Woodruff has a minus 22% leverage score, and he's going to be like, the chalkiest pitcher on the slate. Whereas Kershaw is projected for 10% ownership and Eflin's projected for 19. I mean, the numbers just speak for it. Like one of the safe options, sort of, I guess, is Woodruff, but Kershaw and Eflin are my top 2.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't understand the disparity. Like, it should be closer than it is. And
Oh yeah,
Kershaw is facing the Diamondbacks with a team total of 3.9, which is playing against the Cardinals with a team total of 4.3. So it just doesn't make sense that the team with half a run expected more is getting a pitcher with 25% more ownership. So
Right. All right. Well, that was easy to talk about. I don't think we have anything else to speak on for pitchers, unless you
yeah,
have anything
I,
else.
I mean, some of these pitchers are like pretty cheap. I don't know where the bats are going to take us, but like I had mentioned Sandoval. I like his stuff, but I do like Toronto today, so I'll probably stay off that. I don't like Flaherty. Bassett got rocked his first game against Cardinals, and now he's playing Angels. Who really knows there? Don't really know much about Gore. Just gonna stay away. Bumgarner, hell no. Urania, hell no. So I think it's pretty much gonna like 3, 4 pitchers max in the pool, at least on
Mhm.
FanDuel. At DraftKings, I'm sure you can pay down for SB2.
I think Vladdy's going to take Sandoval yard. Sorry.
Yeah.
But that's just something I'm excited to see later. Um, all right. Talking about the sticks that we talked about, are there any bats that stand out on either side? Like Colorado, Atlanta, Toronto, any of those guys standing out?
Uh, Not as like home run pieces necessarily, because I don't know if they're really staying out on like in like home run environments. But for like runs created aspects, I think here, let me just load up Toronto real quick. So I think that Springer, Espinal, Kevin Biggio hit one out yesterday. Maybe he's got something going. Vladdy, Chapman's been pretty hot. And then at the bottom or middle of the order, you pretty much get Merrifield and Jansen most of the time. Marshall's been a bit disappointing, even when they slot him. I think they put him in the 3 hole yesterday, just didn't really do much. So might be off him.
Yeah, I'm looking at the batters tool and it's kind of giving you the usual, like the top players are projected for the most fantasy points by price and projected to be the highest fantasy producer. Um, right now it's got Mookie, Chris Bryant, Mike Trout, and Randy Arozarena as some of the top guys. Xander Bogarts. That might be a decent, and even Manny Machado. That might be decent for them. Take a wild guess on Washington, who they have projected pretty well.
Meneses probably.
No, someone we
Who?
did play yesterday though.
Lane Thomas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Wish I could not see
those are the
that.
best bats on Washington. I mean, it's just how it is.
Yeah.
Candelario at third base. Sometimes you get there. And like you said, Trout and Otani are projecting pretty well in ballpark pal I mean, against Bassett. Like we said, Bassett just did not look good that first game. So maybe we can go a little mini stack in the A's if we have the cash. Uh, and then the Dodgers are projecting out the wazoo. So it
Mhm.
might be Dodgers season, which doesn't feel good this time of year in that park. So, well, I guess they're playing in Arizona, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a little better.
They're also projecting out Harold Ramirez, Margot pretty well as well. Mm, I don't mind getting to those pieces, but um,
Um,
Tampa Bay is the lowest stack.
yeah, and they're not projecting well in ballpark pal either for runs created. So I'm
I
going to
was
be
gonna
off
say,
Tampa.
I was just gonna say the environment's probably crappy or something. So something really quick. Are you gonna potentially think about any Padres bats because this Jared Schuster guy is pitching, and I think he had like a really crappy outing his first start of the year. They're only fourth on the stack tool, but would you think about getting any bets? Because like
I would,
Xander and Manny are projected pretty well.
yeah, I would consider it. and they're pretty even stack score here. About 10% owned, 8% chance to be a top stack. So I mean I can't argue against it really. And some bats like obviously you got Soto, Carpenter hit one out yesterday, I think. Machado, you got some power there for sure. So Padres look fine.
And if anyone makes their own lineups, take some of what we said into consideration. I'm not saying do a full game stack of Atlanta, San Diego, but just kind of think about that and the bats that we talked about as well, if you just want to make your own. So
Yeah,
um
the more and more I'm looking at it, I think the Angels Toronto stack looks good, but I really would hate to miss out on cores after we stacked yesterday and went for nothing.
yeah, no, I get it. I totally understand.
One thing I have been noticing too, at least on FanDuel, the top lines with how low the scoring has been on each slate has been like maybe 1 4 stack and then 2 2s or maybe a 3 1. But the 2 2s have been getting there too, which is surprising because usually it's almost always 4 4, 4 3 1 because of how teams usually just score, but no one's been scoring.
God, I
So
love
something to
FanDuel.
keep in mind with your stacking if you want to take 3 teams rather than 2.
Right. Think we covered anything. You got anything else to add?
I think about pretty much covers it. Just stay tuned to the Twitter. We'll post our lineup probably 20 minutes, 15 minutes before lock. Feel free to tail us if you want, fade us if you want as well. Um, and we'll see you guys here tomorrow.